the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon on the Citi Prime News. I'm Charles Owusu-Kumie. Let's begin from an unfortunate incident that's just occurred here in Accra. Over 50 mobile phone shops have been destroyed by fire at Circle. Now, the fire, which started at around 10 a.m., required intervention of National Fire Service to put the situation under control. Samir Afe is head of mainline news here at Citi FM, and he has joined us over the telephone. Good afternoon, Samir. Hello, Sammy. If you can hear me, you just mentioned to us that the National Fire Service has put the situation under control. Can you describe the situation there for us?
Right, Charles, the situation as we speak is a bit of disaster. One of that will solve the victims. I say the victims because these are mobile phone shop owners or mobile phone operators who run these small shops. So it's in two sections. I'm elaborating informed. So there's a side where they sell mobile phones or they are mobile phone shops. There's a side which is also an eatery, more or less like a chop bar of quite a number of them. And then there's another section which is electrical. So this is where those who sell the pure water, the canned minerals and the canned bottles and those things, sell their wares. So there's a freezer section where they store, they freeze their wares before they sell them in the traffic. So these are three sections that have been, caught by fire in this incident. We are told that over 50 of these shops have been razed down by the fire, which started this morning around 10 a.m. from the information we've gathered so far. Already, we see 3 fire service water tenders which have made their way here to help put the situation under control. But as we speak, the situation is under control, all right, Charles. But then you still see thick smoke in some sections of where the fire took place. So that's what the fire service officials are dealing with as we speak at the moment. And you could see some of these victims trying to salvage a bit of their wares. The one which are not go by the fire, trying to salvage these wares. And when such activities or such disasters happen, you see people trying to take advantage of the situation by stealing. And so you see armed police personnel here also trying to protect the little that has been left from the fire incident. But for the victims here, they believe that the situation could have been salvaged enough if the fire service had come in earlier on, because they say that they placed the calls to the fire service on time, but then they failed to show up, which has always been the accusation against the National Fire Service in disaster side. But the fire service is denying. They say that immediately their call came, they made their way here to help address the situation. They believe that if they hadn't come here earlier on or hadn't come or responded on time, it would have been worse than we have seen now. And so it's chaotic here as we speak, because the fire service is trying to put out the little remnants of the fire which is left. The shop owners are also trying to salvage the little that has been left from the fire disaster. And so it is a bit back and forth here. Fire service officials trying to prevent these shop owners from entering their shop while they try to put the fire under control. I've seen officials from the Kote Municipal Assembly here trying to assess the situation. I've seen officials of the National Disaster Management Organization also here to assess the situation. They tell us that when they finish their assessment and the situation is really under control, they will brief the media and tell the media what really caused the fire. But even though they are here to tell us what caused it, some of the shop owners believe that it is an electrical fault, because they say that they heard a big sound, more or less like a blast from one of the freezers containing the ice water or the sachet water. And so they suspect that this particular sound they heard is where the fire emanated from. And so they believe that it's an electrical problem. So, but this is what the victims are saying. We are waiting for officials from the National Fire Service to tell us exactly really what happened as far as the disaster is concerned. About 50 or more shops, and the victims are here trying to salvage the little that has been left from the fire incident. The fire on time. I know there's this allegation or this claim from the victim. Yeah, so before they believe that there's a fire station close by, and so they responded on time, and so they don't understand where this accusation really is coming from, because it's just a walking distance. It's just a walking distance where, the fire incident really happened, Charles.
All right, I'm grateful to you, Sami. Sami Rafi is my colleague here in the Citi newsroom, reporting that over 50 mobile phone shops have been destroyed by fire at Circle. We're also told that the fire service has successfully put the situation under control. Away from that fire incident, the Allied Health Professions Council has begun inspections of selected health facilities in the Greater Accra region to enforce professional standards and regulatory compliance. The exercise, which runs until January 31, will focus on licensing, practitioner PIN renewals, and facility registration. Registrar of the Council, Dr. Shiraz Isahaku, says facilities operating without authorization will be asked to regularize their status, while serious breaches of the law will attract sanctions.
A situation where patients goes to hospital where the services that was rendered to the patient is not satisfied. He has approached, most of them will approach us, and we think that it's time to take the occasion to the very facilities and to engage owners of the facilities and the general public for them to know that those offenses are very serious crime by the law, and they must desist from committing those crimes. And that is why we call you here to provide this message to you. From here, we'll be going on to the field across the country. We start from Dasuma throughout the Circle, and then we escalate this to Ashanti region, Northern region, Volta region, across the whole country, the Western region, throughout the country, to ensure that those who are not licensed by us to provide these services do not go ahead to do that without the permission of the council. And those who fail to abide by this will then be taken through the legal processes, and they may have to be punished for their actions and inactions.
Dr. Isaku has also advised patients to verify the credentials of allied health practitioners before seeking care from them.
First, you must look for HIFRA certification to show that this clinic or this hospital or this diagnostic facility has HIFRA license. Secondly, the professional who are to provide you these services has to wear an ID card that bolded indicate that this is an allied health professional. In most cases, they may not put the tag on the shirt. So what you may have to do as a professional, as a citizen or as a patient, just ask the person, please, if it is a laboratory scientist, are you licensed practitioner? He will show you his card. If he fails to show you the card, you have the right to resist this and to ensure that you don't allow yourself to be used.
Dr. Shiraz Isaku is the registrar of the Allied Health Professions Council. Away from that, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, says it will rebrand commercial vehicles as part of measures to stop drivers from charging unapproved fares. Channel 1 News, speaking to Channel 1 Newsroom, speaking to Citi News, Deputy Industrial and Public Relations Officer of the union, Samuel Amwa, said the Greater Accra regional leadership will meet transport operators today to discuss the implementation of the initiative. He explained that the rebranding will include identifiable tags on vehicles to help regulate fares and bring sanity to the transport system.
For that matter, we also agreed that all our vehicles, we will brand them, we will give them some stickers so that they can easily be identified. Then our transport team will work hand in hand with the police and the MMDC's Assembly Task Force. We'll be on the street making sure that our vehicles, our branded vehicles, will never, charge unapproved fares. And those that don't belong to any of the unions, when we get them, we hand them over to the police. So these are some of the things we discussed, and proud to that. Hopefully tomorrow, because the current problem is with the Greater Accra, region of GPRTU. The leadership is meeting all the welfares tomorrow. Then we'll sit and plan, how to implement all these things. So hopefully we believe that we'll achieve our purpose.
You heard the Deputy Industrial and Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Samuel Amwa. Now let's focus on the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. He is scheduled to appear before a United States court today following actions taken by U.S. immigration authorities over his legal status in the country. According to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, Ken Ofori-Atta no longer has lawful status to remain in the United States. This development could open the way for extradition proceedings to Ghana after the court ruling. Now, on that extradition request by Ghana, members of pressure group Arise Ghana are picketing the United States Embassy in Accra, demanding the return of the former finance minister. The protesters are calling on U.S. authorities to cooperate with Ghanaian institutions to ensure Mr. Ofori-Atta's return to face justice. Speaking to the media, a member of the group, Selim Dramado, said the protest is aimed at urging U.S. authorities to expedite the legal processes
or extradite Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta to Ghana to face the blazing fire of accountability and justice. That's why we are here. Because the U.S. court cannot be swayed by what we're doing here. The U.S. court is a trial of facts. The judges there are trials of facts. You understand? That is what they do. Because as far back as 1791, the U.S. actually ratified the 6th, the 5th, and the 4th Amendment to guarantee fair trial to their citizens and individuals in their country. So it's the same thing that obtains here in Ghana. Specifically, Article 19 of the 1992 Constitution also stipulates that. So judges are the trials of facts, not sentiment on the streets. If the judges for some reason think that, no, this gentleman, it is not only the government that is asking the American government to bring him, but the citizens of Ghana also join in that action. Yes, they may repatriate him to come and answer this question.
That was the voice of a member of pressure group Arise Ghana, Selim Dramado. Now, the minority in parliament says the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, is unfit for purpose and is calling for his dismissal. The caucus argues that the minister's diplomatic missteps have contributed to the visa restrictions imposed on Ghana by the United States. Addressing journalists, the deputy ranking member on Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafo-Adjei, said the Foreign Affairs Minister's actions have undermined Ghana's international reputation.
The Foreign Minister have outlived his usefulness. He has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that he lacks the temperament to manage complex bilateral relations. He has shown that he values applause over achievement, rhetorics over results, and most damningly, his pattern of reckless diplomacy has made Ghana less safe, less respected, and more vulnerable on the international stage. The minority therefore calls on you, Your Excellency, to remove Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa from the foreign minister's portfolio immediately and appoint in place a competent diplomat, a proven experience, a steady judgment, and a genuine commitment to a genuine person of commitment to Ghana's long-term standing interest over personal political theater.
That was Deputy Ranking Member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament, Nana Asafo-Adjei. This is still the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from Accra. In the northern region, the Citi Prime News is on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM in Saboba. In the Upper East region, we're on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu, Mike 105.3 FM in Avrungu, and Bolga 102.7 FM in Bogatanga. In Northeast region, the Citi Prime News is on Nobia FM 98.1 FM in Nalerugu, and in the Upper West region, we're on Pupeli 92.7 FM in Wa. Still ahead in the bulletin, NPP leadership and flag bearer aspirants meet police and electoral commission today ahead of the party's much anticipated January 31 flag bearer polls. We have details in a bit. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
In Ghanaian parlance, Agrobesa, Efri Anopa. To wit, if the festival will be entertaining, it starts from the morning. If 2026 will be amazing, it will very much depend on what we do in January. We bring you the Effective Learning Series 2026 on 97.3 Citi FM with different weekly themes. We Week 1, know where you want to go. Week 2, develop a plan to get there. Week 3, build capacity to get there. Week 4, take charge and soar. Tune in to 97.3 Citi FM to get a good head start on 2026. The Effective Living Series 2026 airs every weekday in January at 9:15 a.m. prompt, only on 97.3 Citi FM. The Effective Living Series is sponsored by Petra and Hallmark Freight and Consultancy Ghana Limited.
We are officially sold out. 10 years of memories, 10 years of adventure, 10 years of culture and crazy good vibes. This March, we're turning it all the way up from the 1st to the 8th of March 2026. 8 days, 14 regions, one legendary caravan. Rolling out from Greater Accra through Eastern and OT, up north to the Northern and Upper East, and all the way to the Western region, hitting iconic destinations across Ghana. Expect non-stop fun, breathtaking views, deep cultural immersion, and unforgettable moments. This is more than a trip. It's culture in motion, adventure without limits. Pack your bags and get ready. 10 years of the Heritage Caravan, experiencing the sights and sounds of Ghana. You cannot miss this. The Heritage Caravan 2026 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from Citi 97.3 FM. Terms and conditions apply. Heritage Caravan 2026. Experience Ghana like never before.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Charles Osukumi. Let's now focus on the New Patriotic Party as we build up towards the much anticipated January 31 presidential poll. And we begin from the party's presidential election committee. The party says its presidential aspirants are meeting the Electoral Commission and the police today ahead of that January 31 election. The meeting will focus on security arrangements and electoral deployments as the party prints its ballot papers today. Secretary to the NPP Presidential Election Committee, William Yamwa, confirmed this in an interview with Citi News.
We have a joint meeting also with EC and the Ghana Police Service aspirants and the committee to discuss about police deployment plan, operational readiness and strategy. And the EC will also walk us through the protocol and then their deployment plan for January 31st. So I might say that looking at all the issues and all the activity plan, we are almost through with all our plans and milestones.
William Yamwa is secretary to the NPP Presidential Election Committee. Now let's focus on the campaigning ahead of that election, because the campaign team of flag bearer hopeful Dr. Brianna Champon has welcomed calls for a peace pact among the 5 presidential aspirants ahead of that election. Speaking to Citi News, campaign spokesperson Pius Enam Hajide said the call aligns with Dr. Champon's message of unity and decorum. However, he expressed concern that the call may be coming late, noting that some aspirants have already used language that could deepen division within the party.
Dr. Brianna Champon has already committed to ensuring the peace, the sanity, and unity of our party, not just in words but by conduct. You have monitored how Dr. Brianna Champon has conducted his campaign. Even those who speak for him, you will notice that we speak about party unity. We are not in the business of increasing enmity and animosity within our ranks. That is not Dr. Brianna Champon. His life, his political life, his private life, we see that this man is one who is interested in his focus on uniting people wherever you find him. My challenge, however, is this not coming a bit too late with a few days to the elections? We have listened to the conduct of the campaigns, especially from the camps of H.A. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. and Honorable Kennedy Ejapon. It has been very abrasive. It promotes division rather than unity. You have listened to the language that they use. And give you an example, a few days ago or weeks ago, one of the candidates, Honorable Kennedy Ejapon, was on national television. He was asked, would you support Dr. Bawumia if he won the election? His response was that no answer.
Now, Pius Enam Hajide has also expressed satisfaction with the work of the Presidential Elections Committee. He urged the committee to remain firm and resist any form of influence as preparations for the election continue. Speaking to Citi News, he says that the campaign team has fully complied with all requirements and directives issued by the Elections Committee and remains confident of a fair and credible process.
I can indeed confirm to you that the Dr. Brian Acheampong for President campaign team has received an invitation from the Presidential Elections Committee to nominate somebody to witness the printing of the ballot, and we have complied accordingly. Let me put on record thus far our satisfaction with the conduct of the Presidential Elections Committee headed by the Honorable Osewusu, former Deputy Speaker of Parliament. And we hope and pray that it continues. The levels of consultation, the levels of transparency and openness that we are seeing in the conduct and management of this year's presidential election, I must admit, is an improvement on what we have seen in the past. They have taken some bold decisions.
That was the spokesperson for the Dr. Brian Acheampong campaign team, Pius Enam Hajide. From the Brian Acheampong campaign now to the Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum campaign, the former education minister says leadership is about timing and belief as he appeals to delegates to lead the party into the general election. Citi News' Hansen Ajiman highlights Dr. Aduchum's campaign journey.
Elections are won by systems, by groups of believers anchored on the conviction of one man or woman who believes at a given moment that purpose has found its time. Former Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum believes he's that man for the New Patriotic Party. He likens himself to Joshua, the biblical leader who guided the Israelites into the promised land.
All former presidents, from Kwame Nkrumah to Nana Akufo-Addo, have done their best for Ghana. However, they have not been able to lead us to the promised land. I am the Joshua who will lead Ghana into the promised land.
His candidacy has attracted support from sections of the party, with supporters pointing to his strong interpersonal relationship and long-standing engagement with party members.
He's very unique, have the integrity, he includes everybody around, he has a vision, he has done it before, and he can do it in the future.
The man is humble. When you talk, it is for grassroots.
Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum is one of 5 aspirants seeking to lead the NPP into the 2028 general election. Although one of only 2 candidates contesting the flag bearership for the first time, Dr. Aduchum believes timing and familiarity defines leadership. He insists he is a man of the moment, armed with a vision for a new Ghana.
But God has given me the privilege of knowing how the future should look like, and I dream and see. I close my eyes and see a new Ghana. That new Ghana that I see is where I yearn to take the people of this country to, and that is why I want the delegates.
At the heart of his campaign lies a central promise to end poverty. He believes this ambition is achievable, drawing inspiration from his own journey, from the son of a cocoa farmer to a contender for the party's highest political ticket. He points to his years in the United States, assuring delegates that the experience gained abroad has prepared him to deliver on this vision.
Just as former President Kwame Nkrumah left the United States to secure independence for Ghana, I too have left the United States to secure true economic freedom for our dear nation.
An observation of his campaign shows an evolving strategy from constituency cluster tours to focused individual engagements as the contest draws closer. Despite these efforts, opinion polls have not been favorable, with Dr. Edichum failing to place among the top 3 candidates in most projections. Yet he remains undeterred. In a Facebook post, he dismisses the polls, insisting that the decision on January 31 will not be made by analysts, but by delegates, and in their hands he believes victory awaits.
That was a report filed by my colleague Hansen Ajiman. Do stay with Citi FM for the best coverage as we build up to January 31, when the NPP will elect a flag bearer for the 2028 elections. Now, away from that election, former New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate for Klotekole, Valentino Ninoy Notim, has been arrested in the United States after allegedly stabbing his wife over the weekend. According to the Lower Paxton Township Police, the incident occurred around 10 a.m. on Saturday, January 17, along Mayfair Drive in Lower Paxton Township in Pennsylvania. Police say the stabbing was part of a domestic incident. Ninoy Note faces multiple charges, including attempted homicide, possessing an instrument of crime with intent to use, and tampering with or fabricating physical evidence, police say. And finally, before we go, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has called for a reset in Ghana's relationship with the International Monetary Fund, urging a shift from crisis-driven support to a partnership that better reflects the country's economic recovery. Speaking at a meeting with IMF country and regional heads in Africa, the Vice President says Ghana's economy has improved, pointing to single-digit inflation, a steadier cedi, and improved GDP growth.
Ghana's reality is markedly different from a year ago because the reforms driving our recovery have been nationally led, rigorously implemented, and supported by our partners, including the IMF. Inflation has dropped sharply from double digits to single digits, consistent with the target of the government and the independence.
Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman ending this edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios here in Accra. For more news, log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I am Charles Owosukumi. Thank you for your time.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.